Hey, what's up, everybody? Hammerheart Metal Reviews here once again, doing another discography countdown for you today. And today we are going to be talking about the band Horn. So if you have never heard these guys before, or this guy before, it is a one-man band from Germany. The guy behind the band is named Nerath. And they play some pagan black metal with a lot of folk influence. Very unique and just really solid career. Put out 9 albums. There's not a weak one in the bunch. This is a very hard ranking to tackle because I love everything this band has ever done. One of the shining aspects here, when you hear one-man black metal band, a lot of times there'll be like some programmed drums in there, which can maybe be a knock. But here, no, Nerath actually plays drums, so that's a major plus in terms of one-man black metal band, that it's actual drumming. And this is just really like epic and melodic black metal. I don't want to say melodic black metal. When you hear melodic black metal, you might think bands like Dissection and stuff in that vein. This is nothing like that. There's just so much melody interspersed within this black metal with like the folky tinges. It's just awesome. This might be a band, if you're into stuff like Druk or Primordial, definitely a big Windeer influence in there. Falkenbach, Waldgeflüster, another German band. Definitely stuff in that vein, more of the like nature-oriented bands. And like, yeah, Horn is just really known for these harmonious guitar tones and just like such great leads with truly excellent songcraft. And just like I said, really has a trademark guitar tone, just so rich and majestic throughout every album, and just unmistakable sound. And yeah, like I said, all 9 albums are absolutely solid. It's a really tough ranking, but I'm going to rank them from my least favorite to my favorite. So here we go. Coming in 9th place, in last, my least favorite album, although I do still really enjoy this. Like I said, there's no weak albums here, so just because this one's coming last, you should still go listen to it. Everything he's ever released is awesome. But for me, coming in 9th place, I'm going to 2013's album, Conflict. So this one is more like themed around war, as opposed to some of the older albums were more themed around nature. This was the 5th album, and yeah, it's got a lot of like march-like tempos. There's some horns in the background, kind of add to this overall like triumphant and like dark atmosphere at the same time. There's a lot of variation here between like some faster songs, some mid-paced tempos, and just a lot of different approaches in the songwriting, which is really something Horn's known for throughout their career. It's not just one approach in every song. There's a lot of different stuff going on. The clean vocals in here are really excellent, along with the harsher black metal vocals. If I had to pick a favorite song or favorite songs, go with like Fotanglar or Triangle Grander. I'm probably going to mispronounce a ton of songs throughout this video, so I apologize. Zangen and Kissel and Bronstabe, just 3 of the awesome songs on here. But all in all, this is still a very good album, but for me, it's coming in last place. Up next at number 8, I'm going with the album that was actually right after that from 2015, titled Feldpost. This one kind of picks up right where Conflict left off. Once again, has these like mid-paced marching tempos, this kind of like militaristic feel throughout. And it's just like you feel the tragedy bleeding through these songs. It's just so full of harmony and melody at the same time with these darker themes. The only reason I've got this one a little lower on the list is like there's a handful of original tracks, but then also 2 re-recorded tracks from an older album. So there's not that much new material here, but nonetheless, even the re-recorded tracks are still very well done. And all in all, favorite tracks on here, Drei Spiten am Grab, Wachi Schreibt is very good as well. Like all in all, like I said earlier, even though this is coming in 8th, this is still a very solid album. Definitely go give it a listen, but now let's move it along. So up next at number 7, I'm going to 2010 with the 4th album, Distance. So this one, compared to the first 3 albums, this is the 4th album. This one did have a few minor changes to the overall style. The first few were very lyrically and thematically based around nature. This one started to go more into the direction themed around war, much like the first couple albums I talked about today. But yeah, it just gives it a little bit of a darker tone than some of the earlier works. There's definitely a lot of aggressive black metal on this album, but even during those aggressive moments, it's still just full of melody at the same time. Maybe myself personally, I prefer the vibe and atmosphere on the first 3 albums a little bit more than this, But the riffs on this album, oh, absolutely top notch. Just outstanding guitar playing, outstanding riffs, super enjoyable. Favorite tracks on here: Überall und über allem, Die Verloren Route, and A Stranger Homeward Bound. Every now and then there's an English song that I can actually pronounce. But yeah, all in all, still a very solid album, coming in 7th. Now let's move it into the top 6. So to me, these next 6 albums are a notch above the first 3 that I talked about. Not a knock on those first 3. Definitely still worth checking out. Really solid stuff. But to me, these next 6 are a clear step above, this, at least in my preferences. I really enjoy these ones even more. So coming in 6th, I'm going to 2020 with Mon Gang. So this one just is full of epic songs. It's got a lot of different folk instrumentation going on. There's even like cowbell and dulcimer. And there's a lot of influences that you can hear within here. There's even like some 80s metal influences here with some of the riffing. A lot of folk mixed in with the black metal, of course. Once again, the variation between songs is absolutely excellent. You'll have like a softer interlude and then an aggressive song, a mid-paced one, a faster one. And just so much melody throughout this whole thing. Favorite tracks on here: Upstream Canals, A Ship's Bell Sounds, De Star Hos Som Slata. Once again, I cannot pronounce any of these, but yeah, you'll know which song I'm talking about if you listen to the album. But all in all, really solid stuff. Just missing out on the top 5, but easily could have been higher. Now let's get into the top 5. My 5 favorite Horn albums, which is pretty much impossible because these are all amazing. So coming in 5th, I'm actually going all the way back to the debut from 2005, Jahre Zeiten. So this one, the only reason I have it ranked a little bit lower in 5th, that's not that low, I guess right in the middle, but it's just got very raw production. It's got a really fuzzy guitar tone. The production maybe holds it back a little bit, but nonetheless, it also adds a little bit of charm to it, that old like demo quality charm. It's got really great harsh black metal vocals with a few cleans sprinkled in here and there. Like I mentioned earlier, these first few albums, it's all based around nature in theme and lyrically, and there's just so much underlying melody. It's like you look at the album cover, you know exactly what you're in store for here. It's just really epic stuff, and it's got these really awesome transitions from like melancholic black metal to these cleaner pagan folky sections, and it's just really solid stuff. Absolutely love this. My favorite song on here is probably Alpenland. Über den Grund Kronen is great. The song Horn itself is really solid. Like all in all, really awesome album, especially for a debut and especially for having like the rougher quality production. But yeah, if you have this higher than 5th, I completely understand. It's a classic, and for me, it's in at 5th. Let's move this right along. Coming up next at number 4, maybe some controversy here. I know this one is probably hailed as possibly their best, and it easily could be. If you have this at number 1, I understand. But I just like a few others a touch more, but this could easily be right up there. I'm going with their 3rd album, Natterkraft, from 2008. So this one, being their 3rd album, like the production is improved from the debut, but it does, I haven't talked about the 2nd album yet, but compared to that one, this does have a little bit of a rawer, muddier approach than the 2nd album, and creates this really like foresty atmosphere. Got major like Burzum influence going on here, as well as Windeer influence as well, kind of mixing that together in spots anyway, not necessarily throughout the whole album. But there's just so much melody in these really epic long songs. It's got this really like sweeping, grandiose feeling to the riffs and to the overall structures of the songs. Like the fact that I have this at 4th is ridiculous because this album is so top notch. It's just really awesome stuff. Favorite tracks on here: So Kalt Wie Nie Zuvor, Dut die Zeichen Steichen auf Sturm, and Landscapes on Hold Part 2. As you see, I go through like songs I can't even pronounce, and then maybe an English one in there. But yeah, just really solid album. Can't recommend it enough. In at number 4. Now to the top 3. I was just talking about that 2nd album, so let's talk about it right now. The sophomore output from 2006, Die Kraft der Zeranian. I can't even talk. Zenarian. I do not know how to say this. I apologize. Die Kraft der Zenarian is my best pronunciation of this, but let's move past my inability to speak. So here, compared to the debut, this sophomore album, the production was much improved, a much cleaner sound. and it's just really epic, folky, nature-inspired black metal. The songwriting is really impressive here. It's like melodic, but yet sorrowful at the same time with the guitar tone and the melodies. Like, it's really got this beauty, but this sorrow all at the same time, and it really makes it work. Like, the song crafting by this guy is just fucking amazing. The title track here, which I won't try to say again, absolutely amazing. Landscapes on Hold, amazing. Where the Clarions Have Never Ceased, another awesome song. Just all in all, absolutely stellar album. Almost want to put this even at like #1. It's that good. But to me, these next two edge it out by a hair, and they're both more recent albums. So yeah, not just going with the old stuff. The career of Horn has never really missed a beat. Awesome albums at the beginning, awesome albums at the end. The whole discography is awesome. So let's find out. 2 albums left. Coming in #2, I'm going to 2017 with the album Term Am Hang. So this one's so epic and melodic. It's very Windir-esque in parts with the guitar melodies again. Great riffs. It's so folky, and the songwriting is so excellent here. The guitar leads and melodies are just amazing. Like, I absolutely love this style of like folky, epic black metal. Not too many bands can do it as well as Horn or better. Like, they are right up there with the best in this specific subgenre. And I just love this approach. It's epic as fuck. The clean vocals are glorious. The harsh black metal vocals are great. Everything about this album is absolutely top notch. This probably would have been my #1, but I'll explain what I'm putting #1 shortly. But favorite songs on here: Als en Eimen Schnitt, Term am Hang, the title track, and Die mit dem Brogen auf dem Kreuz. Don't know how to say any of these, so yeah, doing my best here. But now let's get into my favorite Horn album, which maybe this is going to be a shock because this album just came out in May of this year. I was going to do this as a discography ranking right when this album came out, but after listening to it, I want to spend some more time with this album to really see if I should be putting it this high up on the list. But yeah, I'm putting their brand new album from this year as #1, my favorite Horn album, and that is Verzet. So yeah, this album feels like a culmination of his whole discography, whole career. It is just so epic, folky, catchy. Like, these songs are memorable, and it's just like, it's more of a mature sound compared to some of the older stuff. Like, this is easily one of his best. The songs are so memorable. The clean vocals are so majestic, like the pagan chants and pagan singing. It's so excellent. So much folk instrumentation going on here that I've just like, I absolutely love this. You've got cello, you've got like mandolin and dulcimer, and just really brings in this like medieval atmosphere. The songwriting is so varied from one song to the next. It's just a very dynamic album, and I can't stop listening to it. I absolutely love it. So yeah, it may seem crazy to put a brand new album in at #1 when a band's discography is this good, but I think this one is the crowning achievement of this band to date. Yeah, front to back, this whole album is stellar, but my favorite songs: Alpen Recorder, which I had an awesome music video for; A Hill to Die On, absolutely amazing; Aufstand, the title track Verzet to close it off, absolutely epic. Just really, really solid stuff. If you have not heard the brand new album yet, do yourself a favor and go listen to it. And if you have not heard Horn before, go listen to their whole discography because you will be blown away. Absolutely amazing band, amazing stuff. Anyways, these are just my opinions as usual. Love to hear yours down below. What's your favorite Horn album? What do you think of the new one? And anyways, until next time, give me a like, give me a subscribe. Hammerheart Metal Reviews out.